Hello everybody, it's Dan, your friendly fishmonger at dansfish.com, where we're on a mission to humanely source, maintain, and transport aquarium fish to our customers. Today we're going to take you around, give you a little tour, a little tidbit of what we've got going on here. We're going to start with some Corydoras, and the first one I'm going to show you is amazing. We've got some live bearers, we have a very special cichlid, and a new tetra I've never had before that I think is awesome looking. So let's start with these catfish. Check these out. Okay, here we have a nice group of CW23 Corydoras. These are hobbyist bred and raised, which is awesome. These are the red laser Cory, similar to the gold laser Cory, but with a lot more orange and red on them. You can see that bright, well, you can just take a look and see what I'm talking about. Just as easy as the CW10. I think both of those fish are hardy and beautiful and awesome. So if you want a Corydora that has all the benefits of Corydoras for your tank, they keep the substrate clean, they clown around and they're a ton of fun to watch. They're just adorable little fish, little clowns. But you also want some color with that, then this is one of the most colorful. A lot of Corys are very cute, but there's very few that actually have much in the way of color. But this one does. They're doing fantastic for us, and I think they'll do well for you too. So we feed these guys a wide variety. Right now they're eating a protein pellet. This is actually a Hikari Massivore Delight pellet. To find that and the other foods we feed our fish, check our Amazon affiliate link in the description. If you buy something there, we'll get a little kickback and that'll be helpful. We also feed them algae wafers, frozen bloodworms, frozen brine shrimp, rapacia, a wide variety. So these are Corydoras paleatus, but these are not the normal Corydoras paleatus. These are the long fin variety, bred and raised by hobbyists, which is where we like to get our fish from. And just like the normal paleatus, they are hardy. They're one of the easiest Corys ever. This is a classic. Corydoras paleatus has been a mainstay in the hobby for decades because it's hardy, it doesn't get too big, it's pretty, they get some nice green iridescence along with that nice mottled pattern. These also get long fins. As they continue to grow, their fins will get more and more extended. It is something that gets accentuated with age. You can kind of see it starting now, but it'll get even more extended as they grow. So you get all the goodness of a Corydoras paleatus with a little fancy. All right, this is one of the nicest, healthiest, biggest bellied batches of black Venezuelan Corys that I've ever received. I'm very happy with this group. They're doing absolutely fantastic for us. We haven't had to do anything to nurse them back to health. We haven't had big losses or anything like that. So really happy with the source, really happy with this batch. These, I think Corydoras schultzei is probably the right scientific name for them. And they are, once they settle in, once they recover from being imported, they are hardy, happy, healthy fish. But they are one of those species you have to be really careful which supplier you get them from. This supplier though, bang up job, really happy with them. All right, let's look at some cichlids now. We have a new Pelvicachromis species, new to me anyway. A very beautiful apisto, probably the brightest, prettiest apisto I've ever seen. And then a very special Oscar, a new species of Oscar. That's right. There's been a new species of Oscar that was described just last year. So let's go take a look. All right, this is a special little cichlid. These are very rare. This is Pelvicachromis suboculatus from the Matadi location. These are hobbyist bred and raised fish, and they're doing fantastic for us. We only have 4 of them, so this is not a fish we have a lot of, and it is my first time keeping them, but so far, I'm delighted with them. They're hardy, they're healthy, they're happy, and I think they're gonna do really well for you. So if you're looking for an uncommon cichlid, and you want something from West Africa, you know, that stays small and is fairly peaceful, kind of on the lines with the more common Kribensis as far as aggression and behavior goes, then this might be one to try, just something really rare and unique. By the way, in the wild, these come from very soft acidic water. Most of the West African dwarf cichlids do, but we're keeping ours in hard alkaline water. They're all adjusted to that. Most of the United States has hard alkaline water, so they should be ready to go for you. They're all acclimated and used to that. And they eat everything. They eat flakes, they eat pellets, they eat frozen, they eat live, so these are not difficult fish. All right, this is a Pistogramma McMasteri, absolutely beautiful fish. There are gold McMasteri and there are red-shouldered McMasteri. This is both. This is the gold red-shouldered McMasteri. Absolutely stunning little opistos. Lots of color. Doing very well for us. These are from a hobbyist breeder. That's the Saurus, so they're gonna be good, and they have been, no issues. I don't think we've lost any in this batch or even had any problems with them. So absolutely fun little fish. Okay, I almost never bring fish in that grow large, but this is an exception. This is an Oscar. Why would you bring in an Oscar, Dan? Those are a dime a dozen. Not this Oscar. This is a new species of Oscar. It was just described last year. This is Astronatus micolgii, named after Ivan Micolgi, who's done a whole bunch of work on fishes in Colombia and Venezuela, especially in the Orinoco River drainage. Really influential guy, has done a ton of work, and I'm very thrilled for him that a fish has been named after him. So this is not your average Oscar. These come from the Orinoco River drainage. This batch has been rock solid. I mean, Oscars are hardy fish. This is no exception. Absolutely rock solid for us. No problems whatsoever. Like I said, I have this rule, I almost never bring in fish that get large, but when I saw that Ivan had got a fish named after him, I was real happy. I wanted to be part of it, so I brought him in. So here they are, Micolgi's Oscar. Brand spanking new species of Oscar. Just when you thought you'd seen every Oscar, here's another one. Now these are wild, and we were able to get these like a week before collecting in the Orinoco closed. It closes every year for the breeding season. So these are, this is it. No more of these are coming in for a few months. So happy to have them. Right now they're about, 2 inches, 2.5. I don't think anyone's quite 3 inches yet. So they're still young. They have a lot of growing to do. They do get big just like every other Oscar, but I think they're special. So Micolgi's Oscar. We have now reached the live bearer section of the video. So strap in. Let's look at a couple live bearers. All right, here we have some platies. These are a dark red platy. I like them because they're a deeper red than a lot of them. They're fairly consistent. I don't know if they're teacup or not. They kind of have the body shape of a teacup, which makes me think maybe they are, which means they wouldn't get as big as your normal platy. They would stay smaller, but I can't really tell for sure. These came out of Israel, and Israel tends to do a pretty darn good job with their fish. That's why all the fish from Israel tend to come in pretty darn consistent, which is what you want in a line of live bearers. More consistent than a lot of other sources. So we like them. There's a few species from Israel we really like getting. This is one of them. Consistently dark red and healthy and happy and doing fantastic for us. I love when they do this. I love when they get into that like feeding frenzy ball. That is just fun to watch. Look at that go. Look at that. That is so much fun. Anyway, just as easy and hardy as your normal platy, but a nice dark red in a consistent form. Here's a group of Hawaii Variatus platies. These come from Israel. You can tell they come from Israel just because looking at them, you can see how uniform they are. Now, there are a couple in there that don't have the black on them properly. Don't worry, we won't send you those. But all in all, out of what is this, 100 fish, something like that, maybe 150, almost all of them are nice and consistent. So that's what I'm liking about Israel. Anyways, that beautiful yellow contrasting with that black and highlighted by that nice orange reddish tail just makes Hawaii Variatus one of the prettiest platies out there for sure. So these are some nice platinum Lyretail marble mollies. Fairly consistent strain, definitely have the platinum down. They're bright white, bright iridescent white with what I think is a very pleasing mottled pattern, marbled pattern, if you will. A lot of times you get these guys and they're so dark that it's like, yes, that is genetically a platinum marble Lyretail molly, but it's so dark I can hardly enjoy it. Most of these are right where we want them, fairly light with a little bit of that marble speckling on them. At least that's how I like them. There is like one balloon in there, but besides that, I think they're very nice and very consistent. So if you're looking for a line that looks pretty good, I mean, I'm not saying you're going to win any shows with these, but I think if you wanted to win shows, you could start with worse stock than this to breed from. All right, years ago, I had a really good source for turquoise guppies. I brought lots in, I sold tons. They were one of our most popular sellers. And then that company went out of business and I didn't have them for years. Well, I'm glad to announce I have finally found another supplier who does a really good job with these. These come out of Israel. The strain is nice and consistent and healthy. And the thing I love most about these turquoise guppies is when you look down on them from above, they glow. They're like neon on top, like a Miyuki rice fish. So they do great in ponds. They're an awesome patio pond fish, just perfect for anyone who wants to put a little bucket out on their patio or a wine barrel or has a mini pond in their backyard or whatever. Summer tubbing, this is one of the fish I think that you should do because you'll actually see them when you look at them from above. And not only will you see them, they will glow. You'll see them and they're just absolutely stunning. Okay, we've reached the final stretch of the tour. Let me show you a wild type betta, a goby, some other things, and we're gonna end with this tetra. This tetra is so cool. Worth sticking around for. All right, if you like wild type bettas, we have a treat for you. This is Betta embellus. It's very similar to Betta splendens, which is the common betta that you see in all of the pet stores and little bowls all over. But these guys, what I love about them is they are peaceful, super closely related, very similar to a wild type betta, splendens, but peaceful. You can keep a group together. We have males and females together here. They get along just fine. You're not going to see a bunch of torn fins and damaged fish like you would with Betta splendens, the one that's commonly called the fighting fish. These are sourced from a hobbyist breeder, and they've been doing well for us. These are rock solid. We haven't had any losses, no problems. They aren't eating well on flakes yet, so be aware you're probably going to need to start these with frozen food, but they're learning. They're getting, familiar with processed foods, and shortly they'll be eating them with no problem. All right, this fish is new to me and it's kind of been a revelation. I'm kind of in love. This is the Sharptail Goby Oligolepis acutipennis. And look at the long flowing fins on them. And they have some color too, and they're peaceful. Everyone's getting along. I really like these guys. I'm gonna start off feeding them some Vibra Bites just to show you how well they're eating prepared foods, but then I wanna give them some bloodworms as a treat. So let's give them that so you can see they're trained, they're eating dry foods without any problems. And then I wanna give them some bloodworms just because I like spoiling these guys. Now, something I love about them is they were never shy. We put those caves and pipes in there to give them shelter because some gobies are really shy and it was our first time with them. They don't really use it. They kind of are just out there begging for food all the time, which I'll take. I think that's cool. I don't think they'll display for us right now because they're busy eating, but when they do, they spread all that massive finnage. Like, look at the size of the dorsal fins on those large males. Hopefully they'll, lift it up a little bit so you can get an idea. Well, imagine that like fully flared along with that long flowing tail and them dancing around. It's a sight to behold. Just beautiful, neat, awesome goby. My first time with them, and I'm pleased as punch. Couldn't be happier with these guys. Okay, this is a line of Rosy Barbs that is sourced from some hobbyists and has been worked really carefully. Look at the amount of red that is in there and the black on the fins. They're selling them, they're calling them super reds. I don't know if I want to call them super reds. They are a lot more red than other Rosy Barbs though, and the black on the fins is much better. So I guess I will. To me, they look like a neon red, but with more red. So yeah, I guess on second thought, redder or super red is an apt description. Anyway, just look at that. I love the black on the males. I love when it comes in and contrasts so nicely with that kind of iridescent red throughout the body. So these are more expensive than your typical Rosy Barbs for sure. If you want your typical Rosy Barbs, we have those too. Just an aquarium strain Rosy Barb, no problem. But if you want something a little fancier, if you're wanting to breed some barbs and want to start with good stock, then I would highly suggest these. I guess we will call them super red Rosy Barbs. I can't think of a better, more honest thing to call them that wouldn't be confusing, and that's what the breeder calls them. So there you have it, super red Rosy Barbs. By the way, excellent pond fish. They will show up better than a lot of fish in the pond from the top because they do have some olive across the top, but I think they're bright enough that you could see them looking down. And they take a wide range of temperatures, so pretty hardy, pretty good pond fish. Super red Rosy Barbs, yeah, I'm going with it. So this is my first time with this tetra. This is the Amapa Tetra. These are hobbyist bred and raised. And they basically look like a spruced up glow light tetra. Nice red line over the black horizontal line that runs along the lateral line, and they truly glow. So I think that's the best way to describe them. If you're familiar with the glow light tetra, this is like another flavor of that. I mean, it's a completely different species. It's a fairly new species, and they're not widely available yet, but glow light tetra vibes on these guys. So there's a small sample of some things that we have available here at dansfish.com. The tour is about to come to a complete stop. Please keep your arms and legs in the vehicle until it does in 4, 3, 2, Hey everyone, it's Dan. If you want to learn more about aquarium fish, we do a live stream every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Dan's Fish YouTube channel. If you're in the market for aquarium fish, check us out at dansfish.com. We ship to the US and parts of Canada. And if you want something fishy to wear, we've got merch. Till next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.